All right, good morning. It's January 21st. It is now 8:06, and we are calling to order the regular Electric Utility Board meeting. We are called to order. Olivia, I don't think we have anyone signed up for public comment. We do not. Here's to item 3, recognize exemplary service contributions by Mr. James Conrad and Mr. Jerry Bell. I think you guys are here. I think you guys have a speech for us, or?
Yes.
I want to thank y'all for your service. I know David's got some words. I apologize that we did not have Chick-fil-A for you or the cow here this morning on your way out. But
Well, if you could back up James and I, if you'd waive the 3-minute limit, we had public comments.
we already passed that out.
As you call
It's 9:43. We'll now reconvene back into open session. Item 9, get approve the minutes from the December 10th, 2019 special call electric utility board meeting, and I guess one on January 8th as well.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, by the same. Motion carries. Item 10, Mr. McCullough.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of highlights from the report. The AMI project, which the report starts on page 25 of your packet, is coming along very well. We're at, according to this report, we're at 88.4% installed on the electric meters, which the notes at the bottom say that expect to be substantially complete by the first quarter of 2020. Commercial meters are the bulk of what remains, so they're working those out. Should be done pretty quickly. As far as I know, everything is on track budget-wise. The water metering portion is a little behind, but again, we expect to be substantially complete by the second quarter of 2020. So that one's at 68.1%. The CIS project is also, there's a report starting on page 29 on it. Critical path is the KUBRA bill print and payment processing services. I think we're working with them trying to get that portion working. And really, other than that, I will respond to any questions that you have.
Questions? All right. Item 11.
Mr. Avent for the construction report.
All right. It starts on page
4. Good morning, everyone. In going through this, just as a heads up, if there's more than one SIP at each project, I'm going to kind of skip through those. I'll give the high level of the overall station. I'll identify which stations those are, but we'll skip through a few of these that don't have as much to discuss. There's quite a few slides to go through. First station is 467 is Vicksburg. Vicksburg overall construction is complete at the station. We have not fully energized the station due to some commissioning and GIS work still to be completed. However, a portion of the station is energized to allow other outages across the system. So Vicksburg is wrapping up, and we should start closeout next month. The ERCOT project CCNs are moving forward. The third CCN was agreed to, however, not signed quite yet. We don't anticipate any issues with that. Fourth CCN is scheduled for the latter part of February. Thompson-Vicksburg transmission project had a bit of a hiccup here with one structure outside of the Vicksburg station. We're working through with TxDOT to remedy that. So we're going to have to break out a small portion of the scope. So we're going to have about 13 structures that we'll have to pull in that conductor at a later date. We're targeting right now Q2 or Q3 of this year. That's not going to affect any of the other projects as we currently have it slated. So not a huge issue, just something we have to work through with TxDOT. As everyone may have seen the past couple of nights, we did shut down Marcia Sharp to pull over the Chicago Avenue. So it's our structures T14 and 15. We'll report that prior to opening Sharp up this morning at 5:30, that work was completed where we will not require any more any more shutdowns of Marcia Sharp. So you're still going to see boom trucks in the air. We will not be shutting down Marcia Sharp anymore for that location. just as a heads up. Other than the issue with structure T3 with TxDOT, this project's moving along well. Substantial completion will be the 31st of this month. Next project is Oliver. That's 92470. Construction's going very well with this project. The transformer is on site, has been tested, oil filled last week, and we're beginning the testing of that this week. The only slight delay that we've had is the control enclosure. However, it's not looking to impede the schedule. And we are utilizing a contractor already on site for another project to do the tie-in work. So everything's looking good with Oliver. This is the first project I mentioned we'll skip. It's the tie-in work in coordination with Encore. Nothing to report on that on 664. So we're going to skip to 469, which is Holly. Let's see, Holly, we did mobilize on 1/6, so right after the new year with the contractor Brandt. From a schedule perspective, everything's moving along. They're doing dirt work right now, and we're coordinating the tie-in of this to work with Co-op in Northeast. So a couple other projects, we kind of have to balance the outages. Originally, we thought we were going to do the tie-in portion of Holly a little earlier. We're going to push that a little later, Q3, Q4 this year, to better align with schedules. Northwest McKenzie Greenfield T-line project. The contractor mobilized yesterday. You're going to begin to see structures being installed, direct embedded Monday of next week. So they're kind of getting everything in order this week. We are working through one structure issue with TxDOT. It's T12A. It's on the northwest corner of the loop. And the Parks and Wildlife Department are working with us on that to help move that structure to maintain schedule. But for Northwest McKenzie, other than right-of-way cleaning up this month, I think we have 14 tracks remaining. This project is going to move along for us. 468 is McKenzie Substation. We have intentionally delayed the delivery of the WEG transformer to allow the construction team to have an adequate time for their pad to cure, so we did put that call out there. That's not going to impact schedule at all. Thanks to the procurement for helping us with that. And right now we're targeting for the completion of this project in May. The main reason for that is so generation has a potential or possibility to come back on in June to help balance health system. Next is the T-line project, 480 southeast of Oliver. Proceeding as scheduled. There was one board agenda item for a reallocation of T-line contingencies. We had underestimated a construction cost for this project, so that will allow for this project to keep moving forward. And we are scheduled for 1st of March mobilization for the contractor. Next project is 405 Chalker to Thompson. This project has been awarded. We're moving forward. This is going to be a day-for-day start with the previous project we talked about, Thompson to Vicksburg. Thompson to Vicksburg is scheduled right now for the 31st of this month. So the following Monday, potentially, would be the next start of construction for Chalker to Thompson. This will be the next highway shutdown project that we're going to have. It's going to be on the South Loop. We're targeting right now to be 3rd to 4th week of February. We'll make sure Matt is well aware of that. 460 is our Ursa McKenzie project. No real update here, but things moving along well. We already have all the materials. We're just waiting for the right time to start construction, which is the 1st of March we currently have planned. This will be in coordination with Northwest McKenzie. All the way to Southeast, 477. Only real issue here is with on procurement on our side for a critical business need or a change order for Belmont Structures in order to maintain schedule. Other than that, everything's proceeding as it should, to include right-of-way. 473 is the new Oliver Station. Only real call-out is a name change per Encore as well as LP&L. I believe that's on your agenda item for today. 407 is Southeast project. We're moving along with engineering. Currently, everything's tracking on schedule and on budget. 466 is Co-op. Engineering is proceeding as scheduled here. We are going through more of a constructability review with the coordination of the tie-in. As I mentioned before on Holly, those two projects are kind of fighting each other with outages. So we're realigning the Holly tie-in to allow Co-op and Northeast to keep moving forward. So the main thing here is it's on schedule. We just may reallocate or distribute some of the outages for Holly to keep co-op moving forward. 665 is another secondary project at the same station, no update. Abernathy to Wadsworth 345 line. Other than name change, no update here. Encore is on schedule. Their dates have not shifted since the last EEB meeting. The XFAB station, next month will be Yellow House on your paperwork in front of you. We are coordinating with XFAB. We had the last meeting with them on January 7th as it relates to their substation. They haven't made a whole lot of progress yet. That's not really going to affect LPNL or your integration into Encore. It's just they're going to be a little slow on coming with their station for us to be able to tie into them at a transmission voltage. From the LPNL side, we're moving forward with engineering. We're actually pushing Black and Beach to allow us to have our drawings to start pad work a little early, just to try to help cushion our schedule a little bit, to add a little bit more flexibility. But otherwise, everything's moving along well with XFAB. We're going to have a couple projects in here that are kind of following the same schedule at XFAB. So 663, as well as 474, are all going to kind of mirror that same schedule. 478 is the next T-line. It's Holly to Slayton, a little bit further out in the future. We're not targeting this till October 2020. Everything's moving well. I think we're about to start working with procurement to get structure RFP package out. So we'll keep moving this project forward. Next is Wadsworth expansion, 666. So there is a name change currently in your EEB meeting today for approval. Will affect this and the next subsequent 3 projects. So this is going to be the new Dunbar site. It's going to be out east of the loop. Same thing with this with XFAB. We're pushing Black and Beach, our engineer, to get pad drawings out so we can start work a little bit earlier, just to help give a little flexibility to the schedule. We do have a survey and a plat for the property. And engineering is, like I said, moving along well. We're actually going to bring that up a little bit faster. Same story with 475 and 662. Those are all combined projects, one location. 611 is another 345 transmission line. Only real issue, or not issue, but item here is going to be a name change. Second to that is no real update from Encore on schedule. Let me rephrase that. Not that there's no update, no date changes from the last EEB. So let me say that a little differently. Then 533 is a New Aldridge Southeast 115 line. So again, we have the 2 115 lines coming from Encore. Everything's moving along well there. Same for 661. Apologies. So 526 north to XFAB 115. So this project is going to be determined based on CCN4 approval. So no updates for this project until latter part of February. And then same can be said for 609. As I mentioned a couple times, Encore schedules remain unchanged. They're holding to the dates they previously provided to us. If they do make modifications, we'll call that out the next EUB. Then our voltage conversion schedule still remains unchanged based just on our overall program schedule that has also remained unchanged. A few items here we're going to need to work through is going to be the tie projects at Holly. We'll coordinate against this schedule and update it for the next EUB if need be. But for the overall program, everything's proceeding as planned. That's all I have, David.
Okay. Questions? A lot of activity out there. 3 or 4 substation projects underway, transmission line projects underway all over town. So this is going to be a really busy year, but Jason, being our program manager, has it under control, and I think everything's progressing very well.
Any other questions there? Thanks, Jason. Any other items under 10?
No.
Nope. All right. Ms. Bertram.
As far as the financial report, I don't have any presentation today. However, you'll notice in your book on page 65 is the capital update. Lots of activity there, as you've seen from Jason's presentation. You'll notice on his slides, a lot of those large expenditures are yet to occur. The really big ones are coming very soon. They'll be occurring all throughout the year. So we're monitoring that each month and drawing on our Bank of America Note program as we need those funds. So that's working very well. That's really basically all I have for today. Next month, we will be bringing to you the audit. So we're planning on having a finance committee meeting. We have not yet set the date. As soon as we get we have set a date. I talked to Mr. McMahon about that, but I left those in the office, so I don't have anything. So as soon as we formalize who for sure is on the finance committee, I don't know if there'll be any changes today, but we'll get an email out this later today and get that on everyone's calendar. So it'll be, the board meeting is February the 18th next month, I believe. So the auditors will be here on the 18th to present the audit. Probably it's about a week in advance of that. We'll be meeting with the finance committee to give you all a chance to asking questions, to have to review the audit. We'll be providing that in advance of that meeting, so we'll have time to review
That
it.
generally takes about an hour,
February
right?
4th sound right?
I'm sorry?
Does February 4th sound right?
That sounds right, but
It's on my calendar.
okay. I'm sorry. I left it on my desk and didn't stop by it.
I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. I was trying to want to get it figured out.
And we'll, the audit is basically complete. We're getting into the auditor's hands, the final report this week, and then be starting to get comments back from them, and hopefully have it ready to go. It'll be a little bit different this year. Last year when the finance committee met, the auditors were here at that point. They're not going to be ready to be here at this point. They'll only be here for the regular board meeting. So you'll be able to hear from them at that point.
Okay, what time are you going to February 4th?
10 a.m.
10. Go ahead and give that. Just per se, and grab if you can get with that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, no other items under number 11. That brings us to number 12, consider budget amendment, amending the operating budget. We've got a capital improvement project, 667, Cook Gas Station turbine.
Yeah, I'll ask Blair McGinnis to explain this.
Oh, bring it up, sorry.
So moved.
Motion is second.
I don't have any slides, but we are undergoing a, turn black? No? Okay.
Sorry.
We're undergoing a repair of GT2 gas turbine. We have purchased an expander. We found it's one of 9 or 10 expanders that were ever made. Of course, LP&L, that's standard LP&L operating procedure, production-wise anyway. But we were able to find an expander, very similar, fits the same foundation. It turns the opposite direction, so we're going to have to make some modifications to the generator, but otherwise, like in kind replacement. We are preparing to go out for bid. Are we going out for bid, Felix? I'm sorry. We've already gone out. HPI is HPI the
No, that's GT3.
GT3. I'm sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. So we're preparing to go out to bid for the installation of that expander. Thus, the CIP project that is needed for your approval.
Questions? Not me, no.
It was 2.23 million.
Next,
And,
we have that in the funds, correct, Mr. Collins?
I'm sorry?
That was in the funds, yeah, we got that amount in there.
Yeah, we're moving. We're doing the transfer to the capital, but we fully intend to be reimbursed for insurance proceeds for this project. Mine is a $250,000 deductible, but the insurance should reimburse us for all the expenses on this. We fully expect to get it.
I did not want to wait on
Right.
an agreement with the insurance company to get this project moving. I think we will get good recovery. We've had initial discussions with the insurance company. I don't know, some of it falls in getting recovery, but until you have final cost numbers, they generally don't want to tell you what your reimbursable amount is going to be. We know we have got the deductible.
But they've been apprised of the estimates at this point throughout the project. They're fully aware of the numbers that are involved. So, like David said, we expect to be able to recover that
They
cost.
signed off on us purchasing the used expanders, so stuff like we've had contact with.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Refresh my memory on this. Is this the one that we have temporarily mothballed?
Those are,
Okay, so this is the other.
there's two large steam turbines at Cook that we have put in long-term cold storage.
Okay.
And we don't plan on restarting these one of those. GT2 and GT3 are gas turbines at Cook that they're high heat rate, but they're have fast start capability, which gives them value
And with the
both
low,
the SPP and their
low price of natural gas,
Right.
that they're being told more often or being able to be marketed more often.
Well, we anticipate they will. They haven't run much in the last few years because they've been broken.
Well, I mean,
We have told ERCOT, and they have included these units in their capacity demand and reserve model. So they're counting on them being there. We think they'll have value in the ERCOT market from standpoint, you have a market that produces very high prices for very short time periods, and that's where these units have value. It's capturing some of those high market prices for vendors.
You have a question or comments, Mr. Brewer?
Are these the ones you had the pictures of the blades?
Yes.
Other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor of that budget amendment, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same. Motion carries. All right, need a motion to consider a budget amendment of the capital program to amend the following capital improvement projects: 92460, 92480, 92560, 92564, and 92595. Motion by Kelly. Yeah, second. Second.
You want to talk about this one?
Oh yes, sir. Well, this is another project. This is only an EUD approved project. It's just a transfer of funds from one capital project to another. Southeast to Oliver, the construction cost came in about $500,000 higher than expected. So we are transferring money from Erskine to McKinsey and Red Raider Tap project, which those are almost completed, and there's plenty of contingency in there. So it's just a transfer of funds on those projects. Same with GT3 repairs. The construction cost came in a little bit higher than expected. This was due to when we initially put out the project for bid, we're going to get refurbished parts, and they're no longer available. So we'll have to purchase brand new parts for this project. Same thing with that. We had savings on another project for furniture and fixtures for Citizens Tower, and the savings is coming from that. So there's no net increase to the budget. It's just a transfer from one project to the other.
Question or comment? All those in favor, by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same. Motion carries. All right, item 14, review and distribute the following forms. I think we have those out in front of us. 1, code of ethics. 2, confidentiality statement. 3, conflict of interest. And 4, I believe we're pushing forward the email usage form to the next time. So please discuss that.
I can take this one. Those forms, if you can just review them, the City Secretary's office has requested those be completed by all board members this year. So if you can take a look, review them, complete them, and then get them back to Ms. Pierce. I appreciate it. We'll take care of that in the City Secretary's office. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. And then the email usage form, like you said, you don't have that in front of you yet. We hope to have that next month.
Any questions on those? We don't need this back today or when?
You can take time to review it.
Okay.
As you're doing that.
Have them back by next board or so, or before 2 weeks, week? Whatever.
Maybe a week. Would be
Okay,
great.
week. Any questions there? All right, brings us to item 15. We need to consider, nominate, and elect officers of the EUD. Motion to bring that up.
Mr. Chairman? Yes. I would move in that regard that we leave the current slate of officers the same, and subject to, of course, those slate officers want to continue to serve. That would make that as a motion.
Okay. Second. All That was a slate proposed. Dan Odom as chairman, Don Boatman as vice chair, and Greg Taylor as secretary. Do we have any other motions or slates? Would be, that be good? All right, we'll consider that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by the same? Motion carries. 16, discuss committee assignments, take possible minute action, appoint to the Technical Review Committee, 2, Financial Review Committee, 3, the Human Resources Committee, and 4, Project Helping Hand Committee. I guess I can give you a list here, and then we're going to do these individually, or we go down the entire slate.
It'd be chair's election there.
All right, well, we're going to go down the slate.
You have some copies or anything?
I don't have any copies. I've got this one copy here with my notes on it.
So we need to write it down.
Yes. All right. Sorry, I apologize for that. So last year, the Technical Review Committee was comprised of Don Boatman, who was the chair, Butch Davis, Jerry Bell, and I guess Jane was the officer liaison of that committee. This year, for the Technical Review Committee, I propose Butch Davis being chair, Kelly Turner as an addition, Jane Henry, and then Don Boatman being the officer liaison there. Financial Review Committee, last year was Kevin McMahon was the chair, Gwen Stafford, and Greg Taylor, and then James Conrad was our officer liaison there. I'm just going to propose 3 at this time. We do have 1 board spot available, and we'll see who we propose there. But I would leave Kevin as the chair, Gwen remains on the committee, and then put Greg as the officer liaison there. HR Committee, Jerry Bell was the chair last year. We had Gwen Stafford, myself, Greg was the officer liaison. I would propose that Gwen become the chair of the HR Committee, and that we add Kelly Turner, leaving myself, Greg, as the officer liaison there. And then the Project Helping Hand Committee, Jane Henry was the chair there. No changes. James Conrad was on, and I would propose that we just leave this position open as well right now, and have Kevin remain on there and Don be the officer liaison there. So basically, breaking that down on that Project Helping Hand, and then the Financial Review Committee would be leaving 2 spots open, so we can fill those in once we have a full slate of board members. So I guess I can make a motion for that, or no? No.
I was going to say, I'd make a motion to administrative officer.
Got a motion and a second by Butch. Any questions or comments there?
Just a question.
Yes.
The officer liaison role, what is that?
I'm going to let Mr. Taylor, he established these committees a few years back. We'll let him step into that role of describing this.
There were
I had the same questions.
There were a couple of objectives regarding officer liaisons, but mainly it's to sort of have a agenda group or an officer group that can interact with these committees. So but you want somebody besides an officer to be chairman, so that they basically have their own. Well, within the context of the board, they have their responsibility they can develop. So it's sort of handing off responsibility and helping everybody share the load a little bit.
Any other questions or comments? All right, if not, all those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same. Motion carries. Number 17, consider resolution recommending the city council of the city of Lubbock one appointment to the EUB. I don't know how much detail we need to get into, but we have 1 spot available. I guess starting in February would be I guess city council act on it in a week or 2 weeks or.
Likely the first meeting in February, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We had that list in front of us last month, the month before. I think we've had it about basically 90 days to go over. I would recommend, there's a gentleman on there named Eddie Schultz, who is currently employed by Lubbock National Bank, and spoken with him, and I think he would be a good appointment and fill the financial role that Mr. Bradley has left us there, and Mr. Conrad stepped away from us. I can't, yeah, you need to make it. Got a move by second, respect him. Any questions or comments there?
My only question, Mr. Chairman, would be, are we pretty confident he doesn't have any conflicts?
I asked, and he said there was none, but that's not to say that through the line of, I mean, I can't vouch for that. He
You got to
said,
read this before we just sign.
Yeah, right. Well, quite frankly, I would never have anticipated that Mr. Bradley's employer would done their thing, but regardless.
Mr. Chair, I want to point out, as far as the last board member, it wasn't technically a conflict that was an issue. It was actually a governance rule and responsibility of his employer. So there could be any number of conflicts that arise with golf from time to time on action items in which refusal would be available. And so the only thing that really knocks you out, other than the internal issue that we had with Mr. Bradley, would be interested in a contract of emolument problem that's set forth in the city charter. So the fact that there could be conflicts is...
I appreciate the very good explanation of what I intended there.
That's what you meant to say. Sorry, Greg.
That's exactly what you meant. So, Richard, what you're saying is conflict doesn't automatically disqualify you. I mean,
That's correct. That's correct.
well, or what's a conflict and what's not. There is employer's interpretation of their requirements sort of overflow our wishes, so to speak.
Yes, sir. Now, there is that, Lubbock has the quirky charter provision that where you could not serve under a contract with the city to do the right.
Yes.
That would be something that you couldn't accuse from, and it's a...
Then that would be a very clear violation of independence. So, under our
It's
ethics.
on both sides.
But it can be even something more simple than that, of an engineering deal, or a sale of products. It's a very draconian provision of the city's charter, which is, I think, a little bit unusual. But that's here or there, I think, in these situations.
other discussion? All right, if not, make a motion, a second. All those in favor of, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same. Motion carries. Item 18, consider resolution recommending the city council that the certain authority to our director to make offers on, contract for, and close transaction for temporary construction easements needed for Lubbock Power Line, the 115 kV program transmission on substation projects listed below there. Motion? A motion, need a second? Discussion? Mr. Gadsden?
Yes, Chairman. Y'all remember that we've gone through several delegation processes that y'all have approved and recommended and the council has adopted. We started out on that process with Northwestern McKinsey, in which the offers, as far as the offers go, there was no discretion. There was discretion in working those things out. And the lack of discretion is because the offers had to be based on appraisals, appraised value. Fast forward, there's a lot of smaller real property tracts that are going to be involved in a lot of these projects down the road, in which David and the right-of-way and engineer team felt like we won't get appraisals on those. Instead, we'll do a broad-based market study of those individual lines, and we'd like to be able to base those offers on that market study value. So y'all recommended that. We went to the council and they approved it. Now we discovered that we need some smaller polling pocket areas, perhaps some other temporary construction areas in order to construct all of these lines. But we're not either doing a market study or an appraisal of those real property interests, so we have no delegation. And this is going to be a rather fast-moving project. We'd like to be able to get these done instead of waiting several weeks for the board to approve, and then another several weeks for the council to approve. And so we put together this delegation resolution for y'all to recommend to council that basically says that as long as those amounts are in David's authority, he can transact. And so we'll do good faith offers and that type of thing. But it's a little bit different, and this one requires trust. We're talking small numbers here, I think, and Troy and Jason, correct me, I think that the principal folks really feel like we can get most of these done for under $3,000, in fact, quite a bit under $3,000. We didn't want to put that in the document because we didn't want every one of them to cost $3,000. So it's based a little bit. It's very clear from a legal standpoint. It's very unclear from a layman reading exactly what that would be. So,
and their authority is 2,000?
100. But we anticipate, like I say, minimal things. We appreciate the trust in staff because we're ready to go. We drafted these. They're ready. In case you wanted to see, we asked principal to get one of these put together before we went, so the board and the council could see what they look like. This resolution also approves and recommends that one form that's been executed, so you can see exactly what a temporary construction easement looks like.
So moved.
We have a motion, second, any other discussion? All those in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying? I would carry 7-0. I don't know if you got the Kevin exited. We'll say 7 minutes ago. Consent agenda, items 19 through 26, all those still remain the same?
With item number 20 was not quite ready to go today, so we can pull that.
Okay, so we need a motion considering items in consent agenda 19 and 21 through 26.
So moved.
A second? Moved, seconded. All those in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same? It also carries 7-0. Brings us to item 27. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.